Hey everyone, Azim here. We're going to go over the basics of the digestive tract. What are the organs in it, and what are the accessory organs, and what happens as it passes through. Let's take a look here. All right, of course we eat food with our mouth. We got our lips, here's our teeth, and then food enters into our oral cavity. Mechanical and chemical digestion happens in our oral cavity. We're mashing food with our teeth, with our tongue, against our hard palate. And we have secretions from glands, the salivary glands. You can see the submandibular, the sublingual, and parotid is not shown on this one, but it is shown on this one. The parotid salivary gland is the largest one. Parotid salivary gland, sublingual, submandibular. These are exocrine glands, meaning they have ducts that secrete into a lumen, the oral cavity, secreting fluids for lubricating the food that we eat, and secreting enzymes to digest things. The first things to get digested in your oral cavity primarily are starches and a little bit of fat. There's some lipases, but there's an amylase to start digesting starches. So if you put a cracker in your mouth, that'll, even without chewing, it'll dissolve with your saliva. You can even probably try collecting a bit of your spit in a glass bowl or something, and you can mash up a cracker in it and see it get digested. Fun activity you can do at home. All right, so you swallow your food. When you swallow your food, it goes down your oropharynx. The epiglottis needs to close so that you don't choke, and it goes down your esophagus. There is an upper esophageal sphincter. So this is the best that I can show you for now. There is a sphincter here. That means it's a regulatory circular muscle that makes sure that we're passing food down, and we don't want to have food go back up unless, we need to vomit. There's an upper esophageal sphincter. The esophagus is hiding behind here. The esophagus is posterior to the larynx and trachea. So we can see the esophagus now over here. When we get to the stomach, though, when you remove the liver, when we get to the stomach, there's one more sphincter. This is the lower esophageal sphincter. Let's cut the stomach in half. This is the lower esophageal sphincter leading into the stomach. Again, a sphincter is a circular muscle to regulate the passage of food. When it was mashed up in our mouth, we call that a bolus of food. And that bolus makes its way down peristalsis through the esophagus. Also, because the esophagus is so far back, I want you to remember that this is retroperitoneal. That bolus of food enters the stomach, and the stomach then mixes that food around, mixes it also with acid and enzymes. We now call that food mixture chyme, C-H-Y-M-E, chyme. Mixes around in the stomach, gets sent out the pyloric sphincter. From the pyloric sphincter, we get to the duodenum. I'm going to have to remove some of the intestines here. The duodenum is the first segment of the small intestine. It's just this C shape. It is retroperitoneal also, like the pancreas. But you'll notice here that the liver, lifted up this way, you can see the gallbladder here and a bile duct. This bile duct empties into the duodenum, as well as these pancreatic juices into the duodenum. We need bile from the liver / gallbladder to break up fats, and we need more enzymes from the pancreas to break up other molecules, proteins, carbohydrates. So lots of digestion, chemical digestion happens here. The stomach, let me go back to the stomach. The stomach is not for absorption, it's just digestion. Mixing things around, so there's mechanical digestion and chemical digestion because there are more enzymes like pepsin. But we digest even more here. The most digestion occurs here in the duodenum. And then we can finally start absorbing. Nutrient absorption primarily happens in the duodenum. Here you can see the end of the duodenum continuing to the jejunum and the ileum. The small intestines is the main region for absorbing most of your nutrients that you've eaten. Jejunum is the next part. It goes duodenum, then jejunum. It's hard to follow where this is going around, but you can't really, it's hard to tell just by eye where the duodenum and jejunum and ileum start and end. We'll take a look at the histology. There is a way to tell with histology. But it goes duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Here's the very last part of the ileum. From the ileum, we go into the large intestines. This major part here, this is the cecum of the large intestines. This first part that kind of hangs down, the cecum. So there is another sphincter here. It's called the ileocecal valve. This is the ileocecal valve. There is an appendix right here that extends out of the cecum, that finger-like projection that is also a lymph organ. Cecum, then we go up. So this is the ascending colon. Note how the ascending colon is kind of like recessed into the cavity. It's also retroperitoneal. The ascending colon is retroperitoneal, part of the large intestines. Ascending colon, transverse colon comes out. So this is no longer retroperitoneal. Transverse colon goes across. Descending colon goes down. And then where we have this weird bend, that's the sigmoid colon. Sigmoid colon. The ascending and descending are both retroperitoneal. Sigmoid colon goes deeper, and so now we're getting retroperitoneal again. It goes deeper to the rectum. This is representing a female, so this is uterus, and this here would be the urinary bladder. But the rectum is all the way in the back here, retroperitoneal. The rectum, and then the anus, another sphincter where you can defecate. There are two sphincters in the anus. There's the internal and external anal sphincters. The internal anal sphincter is it's autonomically controlled. It's smooth muscle. The external is skeletal. You can control it yourself voluntarily. So that is the basic path of the digestive system, as well as its accessory organs, the salivary glands, the liver / gallbladder, and the pancreas, which is over here. Lots of videos coming up for digestive system, so look out for those since there's a lot to cover here, but that was just a quick overview. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.